Welcome to your favorite Tennessee Titans podcast, Tennessee Titans Weekly.
Halt,
Jacques.
halt.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Good morning, good evening, whatever time it is your way. We hope your day is going well. As you all know, again, if you've been living under a rock, that's the only way I can see that you don't know this stuff. But again, Mike Vrabel was fired, of course, just a few days ago, and now there's been news out there, Jacques. Rumors as to why it happened because we didn't know initially why it happened. I think a lot of people are on the Mike Vrabel side of things, and probably people outside of Tennessee is like, man, that's so stupid. Why would you fire Vrabel? But then you start peeling some layers. It's kind of like. So we're going to discuss that today as to why Mike Vrabel got fired. Whether you agree or not, there's definitely reasons why he got fired, y'all.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And it's gonna be interesting, man, because like you said, more context is coming out, and when more context is coming out, it made actually the firing makes Amy look evil, and it makes Rand look like he don't know what he's doing, right? And so after this context and what this was provided after all this, I can kind of justify a lot of things now. I get it. Okay,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. So, all right, so we're gonna share this tweet, man. We thought was really important in the whole debacle here. Shout out to Alan Matthews there on Twitter. So, the breakdown on the radio. Alan broke it down, but these are all the things that we heard as well as to Vrabel not thinking that Rand was going to be ready to be the GM. Those home games, or the home game against Houston, again, they were swept. The home game was the final straw. Vrabel wanted total roster control, and Vrabel didn't dispel to New England the rumors about the internal possible hire that he would have had, and she didn't like that. So, Jacques, let's discuss this, man. So first, let's hit on the topic about Rand, man. So,
Mhm.
do you think that was a viable reason as to why we should have fire Mike Vrabel, as
Vrabel.
far as saying that Rand isn't ready?
So it goes to the collaboration thing, right? She wants collaboration. She wants teamwork. She wants this thing to be done together. And it sounds like from what you see from that tweet is that she was like, "Well, what was your original thoughts?" We didn't know that he originally didn't want to hire Rand. He made it under the assumption that he wanted Rand Carthon. We thinking, okay, you help hire him. What you got? So come to find out, I think he wanted Ryan Cohen, what somebody that he's already familiar with. He wanted to promote from within, like he always does, right? And Amy looks at it from an outside perspective, like, hey, we're trying to bring outside ideas in here. We're trying to innovate. We're trying to get to the next level of what we call the 2024 football, right? Analytics, using that to determine how draft picks are drafted and how free agents are brought in, how schemes are created. Vrabel ain't that guy. So to justify it, if I'm Amy, if it's my business and I have a core value of collaboration, then yeah, I'm going to want collaboration. And to me, you're not being collaborative. If I'm doing your end of year review, because that's basically what they did. They did an end of year review, and he straight up failed the end year review. And so yeah, I would look at it if I'm coming from Amy. That's kind of a justification. That's on the checklist. What about you, Huck?
So I do understand your point, Jacques. I do, and I think there's a target behind Rand's back, and we're going to talk about that on our next show. I think some of it's very unfair. Now, if Mike Vrabel felt that he had somebody else in mind, that he might know have those ties, and that's cool. If he, my understanding is he wanted Rand to be the assistant GM and thought that he wasn't ready. That's to his opinion. And if I'm Amy, I was like, okay, that's your opinion, cool. I'm not saying you should get fired for that, but it's not like, well, the people that you had so far, we haven't won in 2 years. So we have to sort of judge your judgment of players and judgment of coaches and judgment of staff, right? So it's kind of like, well, you're telling me as far as Amy and I'm trying to hire Rand for you to tell me that he's not ready. How do you know that? You don't know that yet. The people that you already have not done the best job overall. You know what I mean? So if I'm Amy, I could respect what he's saying, but it's not like, okay, well, it has any credence to it. You know what I mean? That's like, well, Mike, you haven't won in 2 years, bro. So let's circle back and let's really look at it up front. And I'll make that decision. And I think that's the thing about Amy. She's trying to make sure is like, okay, with letting him go, now people will have defined roles. I think I really think that's the biggest part here. And I think that's kind of what it is, man. So yeah. So yeah. So Um, Looking at the second part here, the home game against Houston was the last straw. So I'll start off with this one, Jacques.
Mhm.
We all know that Amy Adams Strunk, again, they come from the Houston Oilers, of course, right? They own the team. And Houston has been in fourth place last year. They were one of the worst teams in the league. And how many times has Houston beat? Man, Houston still beats us at times, right? Even when they don't even have the best roster, for some reason, they still sneak a win out on us. This year was enough.
Yep.
We got swept by Houston, right?
Mhm.
Swept. And then CJ Stroud didn't even play. You know what I mean? Tank Dell didn't even
Come on,
play, right?
come on
So you
now.
see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, bro, are you kidding me? We can't beat Houston, but they don't even have their best players on the field. And we got swept by Houston. Is that a fireable offense after years of just being average? Yes, it is. It is. I understand, Amy. Emotionally, she probably feels like this was my old franchise. We're in the AFC South. We should be able to beat. We should not be ending the season 1-5 in the AFC South. That's not a good sign of progress. Last year you declined, and you declined worse this year. We don't see progress. So I think that's where she's coming from. It's like, bro, we're 1-5 in the AFC South. That's not going to get it done. And you lose to 2 games to the Houston Texans without all their players. Hey, VRABEL, that don't look good to you, bro. That's not a that's not a good thing. And at the end of the day, Jacques, you look at over his last 25 games, 7-18. There's only one team worse than that, and that's Arizona. And they've been bad. They've been terrible. The Patriots, the Panthers, and Bears been bad, and they have the same record as we do. And people might not even realize that. So yeah, so that's how I feel about that, Jacques. What about you, bro?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's an important game. It's an emotional game, and whoever the next coach is, when you're in your interview, that's the first thing that you need to study. Hey, my goal is to beat Houston, Amy. Collaborate and then beat Houston. That's what my initial goal is, and I think to your point, it, you don't lose to a CJ Stroudless Houston Texas team. At least you could have split with them, right?
Yep.
Now they can say, "Well, we only lost by 1 point." That's still unacceptable. So yes, that is a fireable offense. One win in the AFC South. Oh yes.
Yeah. 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 For sure, man. For sure. So Jacques, hey, looking at it too, man, looking at the next point here, man, and we're looking at is, Vrabel wanted full roster control, Jacques. Now think about coming to Amy Adams Strong to say, hey, I want this team. I want to take control of the team. What's your
Mhm.
thoughts on that?
So I don't know if a lot of people knew this, but Jeff Fisher had full roster control after a while, and then you see where it got him. It got him fired eventually. And I think Amy has seen that same song and dance, and she doesn't do. She does not want to go down that road. Even it probably got put in her ear before her dad passed away. Hey, little pointers here. Don't never let this happen versus this, right? When you have full quote unquote control is not always a good thing. Matter of fact, too much control can bring chaos, right? And so when I hear Vrabel wanting control, have you even earned that title to have that much control, bro? You only what two playoff wins, 3 playoff wins, how many playoff wins you have, and that's was like 2 or 3 years ago. You can't ask for that particular part, and you want the house and say I want control. No, I'm sorry, bro. You got to earn that, and to me, I feel like he hasn't earned it. Yeah, you're a leader of men, but what have you done for me lately? That's my thoughts on it. What about you, Hawk?
Yeah, Jacques. Facts, no paper, bro. So when I look at this comment, man, when I look at control, right? So, my understanding was that he wanted to be control of the roster and everything. And so if I'm Amy Adams, as the owner, you're coming to me out of 25 games. You're 7-18 in the last 25 games, and you're wanting to take full control. And the fact he says he earned that. That's at least that's the speculation. That's what he told her. And it said it really soured her when he said that. Now, his thinking is, okay, I don't have John Robinson here. I'm kind of free and clear. I got a new GM. I got Rand right now. I got to try to have him to cook a little bit, while he can here. I want full control. So Amy is like, hey, I need to find roles. That's why I'm hiring this GM, right? To have full control, you got to have something behind that. Maybe a Super Bowl ring. That might could help you out a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some more playoff wins, maybe some more consistency. And it's like you're coming to your boss and you haven't performed over the last 2 years, bro, and you're asking for full control. So what does that mean? I'm aiming like, so what do you mean full control? You talking about roster, staff, and those things? The staff that you already have that. The roster you already have, you have that too. Yes, John Robinson played a part in that, but you was in that war room with him. So you had control because you're asking your GM to get the type of players that you want. So for you to ask at this point in time that you want full control, hey man, dude is smoking on like the greatest blunt ever. I'm
Hmm.
like, Mike Vrabel, relax, calm down, bro. Focus on being a coach. Focus on developing your players. Those things didn't bode well for Amy Adams. He said, you know what, bro? Nah, dog, I'm good on you, bro.
Right.
I'm good on you.
Right.
So yes, that I think looking at that to ask that might be kind of arrogant in a way.
Hmm.
And Amy's like, nah, I'm good, bro. So that soured her from my understanding. You know what I mean? For sure. So the last thing too, Jacques, is Vrabel. When Mike Vrabel, shout out to Mike Vrabel, who again he was a good coach.
Hmm.
Is was entered into the New England Patriots Hall of Fame. And while he was there in the speech, he stated that, hey, New England, you guys are lucky. It's not like this everywhere else. You guys are very glad to have this type of organization. And so again, maybe he was in an emotion. He was feeling good. He's a patriot and those things. I get that. That's cool. I mean, at the end of the day, he didn't get hired on as the coach. You know what I mean? Jared Mayo, the former UT Vol linebacker, was hired on. They didn't even ask Vrabel to interview, right? So, shout out to Jared Mayo. Good luck to him there in New England. So this is how I look at it, Jacques. If I'm Amy Adams Strong, I wish Amy could have went up there with him too. That's another side
Hmm.
story. Maybe she has something going on. If I'm Amy, I'm like, so what do you mean you guys are lucky up here? What do you mean your franchise is lucky? Or what are you trying to say about us? If I'm Amy, I'm like, so I'm the owner. Are you not happy here?
Hmm.
When people aren't happy, if you listen close enough, they give you clues,
Yep.
cues and clues. So I'm
Hmm.
like, if you don't like it here, you've lost 2 years in a row. If you don't like it here, you can go somewhere else, bro. If that's how you
Hmm.
feel. Now he might not have felt that way, but it's a lot. There's a lot of fabric in that statement to say that you guys are lucky. You don't know how it is here and those things. It makes it seem like, man, you don't really appreciate what you have. That's just like talking to you say you're married and you're talking to somebody, another person, and being like, man, you don't know how lucky you got it. If you're the spouse, you're like, are you serious? You just said
Hmm.
that? So what do you mean? Like, we need to have a discussion, right? So
Right.
I think that very much soured her more, probably more than anything, as to say, hey, you just now put a mark on yourself to get fired. So that's how I
Hmm.
feel about it. What about you, Jacques?
Yeah, I mean, I agree, dude. And then the ironicness of it all is Gerard Mayo got hired as the coach.
Yep.
Remember, now I wonder if Vrabel feels silly after all this, after all that happened, after all those antics, after the show you put on, right? You didn't even get the job.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? You didn't even get the job. So was it worth it at the end of the day, right? Unless
Ooh.
they have something else stored in store for them. I don't know, right? I don't know. They might put him in a position in the front office. I don't know. I heard he might want to take some time off. But
Yep.
again, that's the funny part about it is when you sit there and you think about it, that's like me going to a competitor, right? Or I'm at a conference and I say, hey, my job is good, but man, you guys are this, and this. Like you said, my company's gonna look at me like, damn, Jock, you just threw us all under the bus, right?
Yep.
And like you said, it's not happy. So again, I know that played a part in it. I know because it's not like she's not paying attention. She pays attention. Everybody's seen it. Everybody. It
Fact.
was everybody. If Titans fans, of course, we made a big deal of it, but we didn't make a big deal. But we know in the back of our head, bro, that was petty. That was janky, bro. Why did you say that? Why did you do that? So yeah, man, that really justifies it. That and you sitting there praising another team and another ownership. No, I'm cool, man. You go and get up out of here.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. So Jacques, man, great points. I'm gonna pull this up, man. First you see Amy sitting there struggling with Mike Vrabel, pushing Mike Vrabel, like, bro, this is my team, bro. Go on somewhere, bro. Get out of here. Get on out of here. We appreciate you though, Vrabel. You're great. You was a great coach here, but we got to move forward, man. So we saw this on Twitter, bro. We thought this was I thought was
Oh
a hell
yeah.
of a shout out to Brett Mav sending me this, man. I'm not sure where he got it from, but to me this was huge. So when we talk about Vrabel being a great coach, we got to look at all the teams here, all the coaches that we feel that could be in competition or where you could be in comparison to, and look at this list, right? Bill Belichick's not even on this list. Look at this list, man. So those watching the show, let's have a discussion on this real quick, Jacques.
Hmm.
Who would you have above Mike Vrabel on this list?
Hmm.
You got Harbaugh. I'd pick Harbaugh over him. Sean McDermott for the Bills. Yeah, I would. What about you, Jacques?
You said you'll put Vrabel over Sean.
McDermott over Vrabel.
Yes. I put
Okay.
yep.
Andy Reid.
Yeah, me, of course.
Yes. What about young D'Amico Ryans?
You know, what did he do? He won a division and they in the playoffs.
Yep.
So
I
right
know. I
now,
know. Yeah.
if I'm
I
going off what you've done for me lately, I'm putting D'Amico over there, over
got you.
him.
I got you. I'm giving D'Amico, same with Kevin Stefanski. I'm going to give them another year or two before I make that determination. But they both are in the playoffs. Kevin Stefanski will probably win Coach of the Year. I mean, he took Cleveland, got everybody hurt, and they still in the playoffs, heavy. It's crazy. What about Mike McDaniel? We putting McDaniel over Vrabel?
Mike Daniel. I'll say yes.
Okay.
I'll say yes.
All right.
They're in the playoffs.
Yep.
They're in the
Yep.
playoffs.
I'm gonna go another year with Mike McDaniel too. I'm gonna hold off. Because I'm trying to picture these coaches with the Titans. Would it have been any different? Yes, it would have been. Yes, I do.
Yes,
I'm
would.
gonna hold off. All right, Mike Tomlin all day over
Yes.
Vrabel. Kyle Shanahan all day over Vrabel.
Yes, sir.
Mike McCarthy,
I would say yes.
me too.
Because didn't he win a Super Bowl with Green Bay?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Okay. Yep.
Dallas
Yep.
want him gone, but yeah, yeah.
Yep. He won
Dan
a Super Bowl.
Dan Campbell. I'm taking Dan Campbell.
I'm taking Dan as well.
Yep. Todd Bowles,
Todd
Tampa.
Bowles? Mm,
I might go Vrabel.
I'm gonna go Vrabel on that as well.
Yeah.
I agree.
Nick Sirianni for the Eagles.
Took him to the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, he did. I'm taking Sirianni as well. Sean McVay, I'm taking over Vrabel.
Yes, sir.
His former OC, Matt LaFleur.
Give me another year. Give me another year. And the reason why I say that because he got Jordan Love, and he inherited Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yeah.
So I want to see what he can do next year with Jordan Love. If they get back to where they were when they had Aaron Rodgers, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Agreed. Zach Taylor, I'm taking Zach Taylor over Mike Vrabel. Zach
He
Taylor
owned Mike Vrabel.
He beat Cincinnati, but he owns him. Yeah.
He owned him.
Sean Payton. I guess it depends on what you. I guess I still might. I actually think I'll take Payton over Vrabel.
He got Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah, Super Bowl.
He does. Kevin O'Connell. I'm going Vrabel.
I'm going Vrabel as well. Right.
Pete Carroll all day. Pete Carroll over Vrabel.
Yes, sir. Mr. Pete. He's fine, man. He has a championship in college and he got a championship in the NFL Super Bowl. So yes, Pete all day. Come on. That's right.
Yes. So we have about 12 to 13 coaches, we'd say, maybe 14 coaches that we say are above Vrabel. So I wouldn't put Vrabel in the great category. He's very good, but I wouldn't say he's great. Then that's kind of always what's been said. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. So, well, we wanted to give our thoughts, man, upon the Mike Vrabel situation, man, as the reasonings why he got fired. So, in the comments you put down what your thoughts are or whatever, but this is how we feel, man. It's where we at as of today as to why we understand why Amy Adams said, we'll holler at you, bro. Keep it real, homie. Yep. So, yep. So, yeah. So, if you want to follow us again, we are on Bleacher Report. You can check us out on Bleacher Report. We are the official Titans Bleacher Report podcast. You can also check us out on YouTube and also on Instagram at Tennessee Titans Weekly. Check us out on Twitter, Titans Weekly 24/7. We're on Apple. We're on Spotify. We are in those internet streets, bro.
Yes, sir. And when you do, man, hit the like button, subscribe, and share that content. And we got more content coming out your way. And check us out.
All right. As we always say and as we always do, facts.
No paper.